Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a really fascinating theory from the book The One World Tartarians. It asks a huge question. What if there was a lost, global civilization that had already mastered free energy? And what if that entire history was hidden from us?
The book kicks things off with this powerful idea. It suggests that our understanding of the past isn't just, incomplete, but maybe it was intentionally changed. It really makes you question the official stories we've all been taught.
All right, so here's our roadmap. We're going to look at the idea of this lost global empire, then get into their incredible energy source. After that, we'll explore the so-called Great Reset that supposedly erased it all, and finally, ask if any of this tech is still hiding in plain sight.
So first up, the book puts forward the idea of a single, worldwide civilization called Great Tartaria. And we're not talking about just some regional power. The theory is that this was a highly advanced global empire that has somehow just vanished from our modern maps and history books.
So how could a whole global empire just disappear? Well, a huge piece of this puzzle, according to the theory, is something called the mudflood. The idea is that some kind of cataclysm happened, a massive deluge of mud that literally buried entire cities, hiding the true ground level of the Tartarian world.
Now, here's where it gets really interesting. How was this civilization powered? The theory claims they weren't burning fossil fuels. Instead, they had supposedly tapped into a form of free, clean, wireless energy that was available to absolutely everyone.
And where did this power come from? The source calls it the ether. Think of it as an invisible, limitless energy field that's all around us. The proponents of this theory believe the Tartarians knew how to tap directly into the very fabric of space itself for power.
And the book draws this really wild parallel between that lost tech and our world today. It suggests that our modern skyscrapers, with their giant spires reaching for the sky, are basically acting like massive antennas, doing the exact same thing the Tartarian structures did.
You know how you see lightning hitting tall buildings? Well, according to this theory, that's not random at all. The idea is that these structures are designed to attract and literally pull in electromagnetic energy right out of the atmosphere.
And this is the crucial point. This wasn't just about cool, advanced technology. The book paints a picture of a benevolent system, unlimited, clean, and free energy for every single person. It's a huge contrast to the energy systems we have today, right?
Okay, so let's dig into the architecture a little more. The claim here is that their buildings weren't just for show. Specific designs were engineered from the ground up to function as, believe it or not, sophisticated power plants.
The source points to these incredible structures we call star forts. Now, mainstream history says they were for defense, but this theory, it claims they were complex energy machines. They supposedly used sacred geometry to create these vibrational ecosystems that could generate harmony, well-being, and even distribute energy and other resources.
And how did they do it? Allegedly through a science called cymatics, which is the study of how sound and vibration create geometric patterns. The idea is that Tartarian buildings, especially places like cathedrals, use sound to generate healing frequencies that could affect everything from the environment to your own consciousness.
The theory also asks us to take a second look at things we see all the time in old world buildings, like those absolutely massive, ornate fireplaces you find in old palaces and mansions.
And it just poses a simple question. What if they weren't for burning wood? What if their purpose was something totally different than what we've been told?
The book highlights these really strange, intricate metal devices you often find inside these fireplaces. It suggests they weren't for holding logs, but were actually parts of a super sophisticated energy or atmospheric system, a kind of lost anti-tech.
So of course, this leads to the biggest question of all. If this amazing civilization and its free energy technology really existed, what on earth happened to it? Well, the source alleges a massive cover-up, a great reset. It claims that a shadowy group systematically buried this history, suppressed the technology, and basically rewrote the past to hide it all from us.
And get this, the theory even reframes historical figures like Nikola Tesla. It suggests he wasn't some lone genius discovering free energy from scratch. Instead, it says he was a frontman, used to reintroduce little pieces of this lost Tartarian knowledge to a world that had forgotten it.
According to the source, this reset was physical too. The great cathedrals, mosques, and temples all over the world, the theory says they were originally built as atmospheric power plants. They were then supposedly retrofitted with crosses and other religious symbols to completely disguise their true technological purpose. And all of this brings us right back to today. The book doesn't just dwell on the past, it leaves us with some really provocative questions that connect this whole alleged lost history to the world we are living in right now.
It really challenges you to look at your own city in a new light. I mean, what if all this massive infrastructure is operating on principles we're not being told about? And what if the energy bills we all pay are for something that is actually free?
Yeah, it asks us to seriously consider if the original technological purpose of these magnificent ancient structures has been hidden from us, right there in plain sight, just repurposed to tell a different story.
And the theory goes even further. It questions the very foundations of modern science itself, suggesting that maybe some of its most famous pioneers were part of a plan to replace a superior, free technology with something that was way more limited and way more profitable.
So in the end, the theory presented in the book leaves us with this one massive question. It asks us to look past the official history and just consider the possibility that our own past holds the secrets to a benevolent, advanced technology that was deliberately taken from us.